Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago.
Black thing. This is not a black thing. This is a you thing. This is a you thing, Eric Adams. This is not a black thing. Your policies are anti-black. You are a disgrace to all black people in this city.
Well, that was awkward.
Yes, it was.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. And it seems that Merrick Adams is in deep doo-doo. He is in deep trouble, and I think he needs some assistance immediately for his, well, everything. Because what we have here is Merrick Adams just not doing too great. He's not feeling the greatness that he once had. And it's because he's been indicted for, for Turkish bribery charges, among many other things. And it's not going too great. And I think one of the things you guys might be a little bit shocked about me saying this is because I have talked badly about Merrick Adams quite a few times here, and I still think that he may be guilty on some of these things because, again, it's just been a common trend with the Democrats being guilty. But I think there's one thing that we have to lay into a little bit here, that he may actually be a victim of Kamala Harris and all that great stuff. So we're going to be going over that today. So what we have here is that Eric Adams spotted outside Gracie Mansion after vowing to fight Turkish bribery charges. Late on Wednesday, a federal grand jury turned an indictment against New York City Merrick Adams, following a wide-range corruption investigation that has seen several top officials resign in recent weeks. Adams, 64, who has now become the first mayor to be charged criminally while still in office, defied calls for his resignation on Thursday and vowed to fight the allegations against him. Follow here for live updates to stay up to blah, 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 blah. So what we have here is that stony-faced Eric Adams leaves Gracie Mansion with his legal team. Eric Adams left his Gracie Mansion residence on Thursday afternoon with his legal team as he defied calls to resign. The mayor was joined by his attorney Alex Spiro as he left around 3:30 p.m. ET and told reporters at the scene that he was departing to go run this city. Adams emerged hours after prosecutors laid out their investigation at a press conference, which Spiro condemned as he held a small press conference when Adams left. We watched a little press conference, and you can almost picture them trying to cobble this together and try to sell a story so they could say corruption at his press conference, Spiro said. Now, here's some of the things that I want to kind of address to people here, right? So, some of the things that I have a problem with this is that they're all fine with Mayor Adams and his corruption and stuff like that until, he started saying, listen, we need to do something with this illegal migrant problem because we cannot afford to house these illegal migrants. We can't afford to have these illegal migrants into our city. Our constituents, my residents, are not happy with these illegal migrants here in our city, so I have to do something about it. And it wasn't that much further down the line when he said this, is when the Democrats started to go after the juggler of Mayor Adams. And that's the reason why that I have weird suspicions on if he really did do these charges. I'm not entirely sure. I do understand, though, that this man is not the greatest man on the planet, and I really just kind of almost don't care on what's going on here, but I think it's fair to say that this guy may, and just may, be innocent in some regard, but I don't know, because, again, this is something that we're not quite sure of. Now, what we have here is that Adams pressured city agencies to open a Turkish-owned skyscraper after it failed inspections, prosecutors say. So that's what's going on here. New Yorkers underwhelmed by Eric Adams' indictment as jokes fly about NYC mayor ruining his life over airline upgrades. And, prosecutors lay out their case against Adams. What luxury gifts did Eric Adams allegedly accept? Adams defies calls to resign as he holds press conference following the unsealing of indictment. And Adams' corrupt ties to Turkey exposed in text messages prosecutors. And, of course, Adams accused of defrauding New Yorkers of more than $10 million, which is no surprising there. We have also Eric Adams' indictment revealed. NYC mayor traded favors for luxury travel and illegal donations from corrupt foreign governments. So, yeah, he has a lot of charges against him. And here's some of the things that we have to go with, right? We also have this from Ashley St. Clair, kind of saying stuff like this here. For example, Merrick Adams is being politically persecuted by a weaponized judicial system for being the only big city Democrat mayor to speak out against the flood of illegal immigrants into our neighborhoods. Then she goes on to say, by the way, the inside scoop is Mayor Adams was meeting with several large right-wing leaders over the last 6 months. This indictment isn't about political corruption. We still have no idea where the $850 million for mental health services that Bill de Blasio's wife displaced is. So let the prosecution. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that. Where we have this here, we've never paid migrants costs before, so why is Eric Adams doing this so now? And it says, Mayor Adams must think Gotham needs more illegal migrants. He's offered them up to $4,000 to leave the city-funded shelter for permanent housing, which of course is more incentive to come here in the first place. No joke. The city's Department of Homeless Services launched a pilot program in December that grants supposed asylum seekers cash to cover the cost of moving out of a city shelter and into permanent quarters. So, already 150 families have benefited, and the city is looking at scaling up and expanding access to the funds. So, yeah, it's not good. Now, here's the thing that I'm talking about where Merrick Adams may be, and there's some things that we have to talk about here. Because it says, I put the people of New York before party. Eric Adams claims in video he's being targeted for fighting for Harris Biden admin over migrant crisis. Merrick Adams claims he was a victim of political persecution after he became the first sitting New York City mayor to be indicted on Wednesday, insisting he was targeted for setting up to the Harris Biden administration as migrants flooded the city. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. If I am charged, I know I am innocent. So it's kind of funny he does this, by the way, because when Trump was put onto these weird or bad charges, right? He's all like, oh, Trump bad, Trump is this. And then now, all of a sudden, he's being indicted by potentially the same party that he is associated with. He is now complaining that he is not wrong. He is free. He is a man that should not be indicted at all. He didn't do any of these things. So it's really funny that it's come full circle and really hit Adams on the ass here. So it's kind of quite interesting, to say the least. The migrant crisis has likely cost the Big Apple more than $5 million, according to the city's online asylum seeker funding tracker, which is showed to spend $4.8 billion combined through fiscal years 2023 and 2024. Continues to say New York City has likely surpassed $5 billion in spending on services for migrants, including $2 billion alone on housing the scores of new arrivals flooding to the Big Apple, according to city data. So we're going to go over a little bit here on what some of his charges are, kind of with this article and stuff like that. So you guys can get a slightly better idea, but it ain't going too great for him.
One, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, federal program bribery, and to receive campaign contributions by foreign nationals being the first one. And you've talked quite a bit about that as we're taking a look at Gracie Mansion as the mayor is walking to the podium.
The very first line item in the indictment in 2014, Eric Adams, the defendant, became Brooklyn Borough president. Therefore, for nearly a decade, Adams sought and accepted improper valuable benefits such as luxury international travel, including from wealthy foreign business people and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him. By 2018, Adams, who had then been made known his plans to run for mayor of New York City, not only accepted, but then sought illegal campaign contributions to his 2021 campaign. Let's listen from the mayor right now.
Not a black thing. This is not a black thing. This is a youth thing. This is a youth thing, Eric Adams. This is in this city.
Yeah, and it's not really going too great. Now, what we have here, this was back in September 7th. It says, in escalation, Adams says migrant city crisis will destroy New York City. Now, again, this is something that he has said beforehand, which I'll show you. Yeah, he said this is destroy the city, and this is not looking too great for Kamala Harris, right? And then it says, this was back in February of 2024. He says, in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams deflects, blames national immigration policy for city's migrant crisis. And now that Mayor Eric Adams has said something like this, it seems like Kamala Harris and her entourage is going after Mayor Eric Adams. Now, I don't know how valid these charges are against Mayor Eric Adams. I don't know if they're true or not. I don't know. So it's up in the air. But again, it's really quite interesting that when he is the only mayor, the Democratic mayor, by the way, that is saying, "Oh, we have a problem with illegal immigration, and the immigration policy is the reason for this," which is under the control of Kamala Harris. He's the only one indicted and arrested. So it's like, it's almost like if you go against the Democratic Party, you will be hanged, and we'll see what happens. Because for all we know, Mayor Adams may just go scorched earth. He may release all the dirty details before he goes to jail, before he's imprisoned, and if these charges are real, and say like, yeah, here's all the backwater and bad stuff dealing with the Democrats and what they've done, right? And of course, at the very end, we have this as well, where Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calls for New York Mayor Eric Adams' resignation, and it's just getting wild out there, guys. It's getting wild out there. I have never seen such a crazy political election in really all the years I've been. So it's getting crazy out there. We'll see what happens. But the Democrats are really just imploding and collapsing upon themselves. And you love to see it. Alright, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, 'cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.